Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the 24-Hour Nigerian President. My name is Rejoice Joseph, your host. And if this is your first time joining this program, this is the 24-Hour Nigerian President show, is where we get to interview people from different walks of life to talk about Nigeria, to talk about what they would do if they were to become the president of the country for 24 hours. Now, we bring people from different walks of life. So their answers definitely will vary. They'll talk about what they will do in their industry or their department and all of that. So in today's episode, I have a very interesting fellow, a dynamic CEO. He is the CEO of, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to read it out, of Pokyes Consult. He is a seasoned professional with a passion for communication, writing, and digital strategy. You know that we don't like to waste time here. We like to go straight into it. So I'm going to invite my guest to tell us more about himself and his portfolio. Welcome, Mr. Pokyes Kawam. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, Rejoice. It's quite a pleasure to be here. Well, like she said, my name is Pokyes Kawam, and I'm leading Pokykav Limited. Our organization has a three-pronged mandate. We are committed to developing soft skills in individuals because we believe that the human element is very intrinsic in the success of every organization. And until you get it right with the human element within an organization, everything else fails. What we have noticed is that again and again, you see people come in with technical skills, but without a touch of humanity, everything crumbles. This explains why organizations start and they never end well. We need to understand that succession planning, progression planning, critical thinking, empathy, these virtues and soft skills are critical in the evolution of all organizations. And until we get these things in sync with the vision and the missions of organizations, nothing really works. And again, I am very big on communication, so we do a lot of content creation for senior citizens across the nation and beyond, whenever they are writing their biographies and autobiographies. And a story is powerful for me. I understand the power of words and how they can change the narrative of a society or of a community. So we work with these senior citizens so that they are able to tell very compelling stories on how they have traveled a road that the younger generation can pick up lessons from them and go forward to become better people. And the third thing we do is work on how can we help organizations brand themselves correctly? How can you really stand for what you believe you are, what you are? Because branding is more than just choosing some beautiful sugar-coated words and describing yourself. It's more about the tagline. It's beyond the tagline. It's not just about the vision, the mission, no matter how inspiring it looks like. It has to be properly articulated in the behavior of the CEO, the COO, and the top management leadership down to the least person in the organization. And we believe that if you don't get it right in those areas, it's certainly going to affect your progress and what you can accomplish. Before now, I was a university lecturer before I decided to put that back to focus on what I love doing the most, which is entrepreneurship. And I focused on these areas of interest in what I do at Pokykav Limited. And I am grateful to have a team of staff members who are also helping us realize this vision. So this is what I do for now. And I'm, of course, into a lot of public speaking. I do a lot of webinars in which I can also give back to society in terms of some of these soft skills.
That's good. And I'm happy you mentioned giving back to the society. So it's just going to
Yeah.
bring me to ask you, someone with your portfolio, someone with your experience and your expertise in communication, content creation and writing and PR and all of that. If you were given the chance to be the president for 24 hours, what would you do in that industry?
Well, I wouldn't think that it is really what my industry has that will offer, because one of the things that I think that has affected me and every other person who works in the business environment is the issue of insecurity. Sorry for the technical glitch. I think sometimes calls come in and then they interrupt what I'm saying. Are you with me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I
Yes,
can
I
hear
can.
you.
I
Can you hear
can.
me?
Yes, yes. All right. Okay, so making
Okay.
progress, I was trying to talk about what I could do in 24 hours. I think, in fact, if I were the president of this country, I'll clamp down on insecurity. If I were to be the president of Nigeria for 24 hours, the first thing I will do is to clamp down on insecurity. And this is critical because without security, I cannot guarantee empathy. I cannot guarantee critical thinking. Because these are the things that I am very big on. I can't guarantee creative problem solving. I can't guarantee emotional intelligence. I can't guarantee the harmony I would want to see in organizations and in the society at large.
Okay.
And I think
But it's
insecurity
one
is
thing
at
to
the
say
is yeah, go
it's one
ahead.
thing to say you're going to yeah, it's one thing to say you're going to do that if you were given the chance, but how are you going to do that? What are the steps you take to clamp down
It's to ensure
on
it's to ensure
insecurity?
that throughout
What
the
would you
country
put
we
in
have a
place
number.
practically?
Yeah, it's to ensure that throughout the country, for instance, we have a lot of the security structure and apparatus of the country is well laid out. You have commissioners of police everywhere across the state, and then you have DPOs, you have sergeants, you have a lot of them. The military, the paramilitary, all of these structures that have been built, the security architecture of the nation is well laid out. But the problem is to ensure that they do their job. And once they are not doing their you fire them immediately, is that people can get away with a lot of things. And it looks as though there is nobody at the top calling the shots. It is to ensure that it is done, that the job you're supposed to do, if anything goes wrong, if anybody is attacked in your own area, your own jurisdiction of security, you are in trouble. You must answer to government why that has happened. Was supposed to be in charge of that. Where was that person? How did that particular thing happen? I think it is ensuring that they do their job, that they or not be attacked in one way or the other in Nigeria. And then you have security checkpoints throughout, and they're ready to collect the 15 naira and the 20 naira and not do their job. So those are the things that I would ensure happens. If anything goes wrong in any part of the community, it's either in fact, first of all, is this a chief security officer of that particular state that gets the first punishment, followed by all the security architectures, the apparatus, talking about the military, the paramilitary, everybody. You must suffer, you must be punished severely for anything that goes wrong with one common citizen of Nigeria. Because until we ensure security, nothing thrives. We can't do the businesses. You can't even think in an atmosphere without security. You can't create. You can't come up with ideas. Yes. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I read about a kidnapping incident where the woman was lamenting on social media, and she said that just a few steps from where the is. Can you hear me? Sorry, went off.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Just a few steps away from where the police were.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead, Rejoice. So I can hear you.
Okay, so a few steps from where the victim was kidnapped, there was a police checkpoint there. So I don't know how we can explain that.
How does that? And it is because if anything goes wrong in this country, nobody is held responsible. But imagine the president, for instance, from the national level. If anything goes wrong in Abuja, whoever is supposed to be in security, in the aspect of police, you punish him immediately. Military, you punish. This one, you punish. You know, the immigration, NDLEA, anybody caught with drug, anyway, you punish whoever is in the state. The first person in the state receives it. He will ensure nothing goes wrong in his own state, because he knows he will be the first victim of anything that goes wrong in the state. I think that it is enforcing it. It is enforcing and ensuring that it happens. Not that we just talk about it. One of the things that I've discovered that is very wrong with our nation is that we talk about things we're not ready to do. When you punish people for the wrong they do, they sit up. If, for instance, like the case of the lady you were talking about who was kidnapped a few meters away from, what sort of nonsense is that? That is never supposed to happen in a system that is working. It means that in that state, the first person you should fire is not the police for checkpoint, it's not the people, it's not the officers at the checkpoint. It is the commissioner of police in that state that should be immediately fired. Not only fired, imprisoned. Because he doesn't care about the security of lives. And if lives are not secured, properties are not secured. If properties are not secured, our organizations cannot work. Our businesses cannot thrive. Ideas cannot come alive. The evolution of a system that is working cannot come alive in a system that is without security. That, for me, is the core of what matters the most. If these things are in sync with the reality of who we are, then I can wake up every day and create contents and create programs and trainings that can transform our thinking so that we can become globally competitive and continentally relevant. These are the issues that I think, for me, the first thing is security. Clamp down on it and ensure that whoever is in charge of security, the DSS, the military, the paramilitary, that they all sit up. And whoever, if anything goes wrong anyway, there must be somebody who is the first to respond in that particular place. You are the first person to be punished. Not only punished, you will go to prison. Not only go to prison, you will suffer the consequences, so that it becomes an example to everyone that if you're not ready to do your job, you're going to face the wrath of the law. But imagine, like the case of the woman you mentioned, every night, right now as we're talking, the number of minutes we have spent, I don't know the number of Nigerians who have already been maimed as a result of insecurity. Somebody has died as we speak in the last few minutes as a result of insecurity somewhere, somehow in Nigeria. As we speak, one community is being raised down as a result of somebody's inability to act on that which is right. And then they're smiling with their ways to, with the monetary, with the funds that have been budgeted for security. The funds are not being properly used. This is the reason these things can happen. How can we say we're in charge and we don't have the right security intelligence to know when something is supposed to go wrong? How can the criminal be smarter than the one who is in charge? It's because punishment is not being meted out on the one who does that which is wrong. But once we begin to do that, everyone sits up and sees the need to do the right thing. And that way we transform the entire system, because now you can do your job better. You can get the support you are looking for. And we can talk about more engaging ideas like technology. How can we stretch the frontiers of technology? How can what I am doing now move from Nigeria to other parts of the world? And what are my plans? But all of these things that we many times have in our strategic plan, they cannot see the light of day, because oftentimes insecurity becomes the bane that stops us from making the progress. Are you with me? Are you still with me? It seems there's a network glitch in here.
There is actually. It keeps going off, and but I do.
Yeah,
Can you hear
yes.
me though?
Yes, I can hear you now.
So
Yeah.
okay. The insecurity issue in Nigeria is a lot. If we start to talk about that, this show could be 1 hour and we won't exhaust everything. But because of time, I'm just going to what you've said. It just shows how passionate you are about that, and we really appreciate you sharing your opinion here. But permit me to move on to the next question. Okay.
Go ahead, please.
So in terms of all right. So in terms of what you do, what your company does, your vision for Pokykav Limited, what vision do you have for the company's impact on like individuals and organizations? What exactly? How does your company? Can you hear me?
Okay, in recent times, yes, I can hear you. In recent times, we've actually been able to reach out to a few organizations. As we speak right now, we're on talking terms with the national headquarters of immigration on how we can do a pro bono training for their senior staff members on issues like critical thinking and creative problem solving, looking at the dynamics and the criticality of their job in the development of our nation. One of the things that I've understood that has become very, very intrinsic in the success of organizations, publicly and privately, is that I've realized that the human element is critical. But oftentimes people are technically trained, they are experts at what they do, but their understanding of the human ecosystem is very, very narrow, or possibly very shallow. So we don't understand that whatever you do, whatever your calling is, you need some sort of emotional intelligence to properly handle people, to properly deal with them. And if you don't have that, it affects everything else you do. Critical thinking, for instance, which is one of our major courses, I have realized that almost all the time when you see the kind of projects organizations do and our politicians or leaders in public spheres do, there's no critical thinking. Somebody just travel out of the country and comes back and saw something there and he wants to do exactly the same thing here. And I'm like, how is it relevant to the people? Have you tried to see what you can domesticate to the realities of the people? That is what I'm asking about when I'm doing my trainings and doing my courses for these leaders and organizations, in private and public. It is about helping you to think without the box. One of the things that I've discovered that Western education has done to us is that many times there's a lot of copy and pasting, because people don't really sit down to ask the critical questions about what is relevant, what is working, what are our challenges, how can we move from point A to point B, because that's about critical thinking, asking the hard questions and doing the right things at all times, and understanding that organizations cannot succeed if the people within the organizations are not adept at human intelligence. And it is by harnessing these critical issues, which are soft skills, not technical skills, that we'll be able to build a system in which the human element is the most important. So from one step to the other, you talk about progression. How can we move from one point to the other? Progression planning. How can we handle crisis when it comes up? Then we do crisis management. How can we solve the problems that we have? Then we talk about creative problem solving, so that it is not consistently creating problems and not wondering how you're going to solve those problems. Those are the things that I think are critical for organizations. And communication, for instance, is one very important thing. I think a few months back, we were invited to speak for some staff members at Air Force Girls Comprehensive School here in Abuja. And I remember we had this conversation on effective communication, and most of them actually realized that they knew little, and yet we talk every day. Because for people, communication is just talking. But what if we understand that listening is more important than talking? What if I understand that everybody who comes into the team has
The network keeps glitching.
something to
Can you hear me, sir? Because I can't hear you anymore.
contribute.
Okay. One of the issues we keep dealing with in Nigeria, network. I think it's bad. Sir, can you hear me? You went off for a bit. He's off again. SOP comes back soon. Okay, guys, so we're talking to Mr. Pokyes Kawam. He is a passionate communicationist, a writer, a content creator, and gosh, I hope he comes back soon. But as you already know, you know the drill. Leave your comments in the comment section. Leave your opinions. Leave your questions. If you want me to ask him, leave any question you would like me to ask him. In the comments section. Oh, network. I wish we can bring somebody from maybe like the telecommunication company to this show to come and tell us what the hell is going on. Sorry. Welcome back, sir. Okay. Welcome back, sir. Can you hear me? Oops. Okay. So far people can join in and get to what is happening. Anyway, so Nigeria, our country. This is a show where we are very passionate about our country, and as you already know, we bring in people who also share the same passion to talk about the country, talk about what they would do if they were given the chance. And if you missed any of the episodes, you can check the channel for the previous episodes. The show comes to you every Wednesday at 7 p.m. here on YouTube. Oh my goodness. We're running out of time. I think I'm going to have to round the show up if he doesn't come back soon, so we don't keep you guys waiting. All right, guys. I don't know, but I think that will be it for this show. We'll probably bring him back again next week. Okay. Hello, sir. Hi, sir. Can you hear me? Welcome back. Can you hear me?
Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, sir. Or am I the one who's off? I don't know what's happening. Sir, can you hear me? Can you see me? Yes, can you hear me? Guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. Even mine went off at a point. I'm sorry for
Yes,
that
it's a
blackout.
technical glitch.
So can you hear me
Yes.
now?
No, it's okay. I can hear you, Rejoice. And can you see what has just happened to us? This is a technical glitch. Is that not so?
Yes, yes.
Hello?
It's one of
It
the
was
things
a
we have to
technical
deal with.
glitch that
Yes.
made
It's
this.
one of the things.
And that makes my point again. Because, for instance, there's somebody at NIDA who is supposed to be in charge of the network. Not only across the whole country, somebody is in charge of something. Is that not
Yes.
so? It is only in Nigeria that we'll have problems like
Yes.
this. Somebody is in charge of the network. Somebody is supposed
It's
to
only in
ensure these
Nigeria,
things are working.
honestly.
It's all over the world, but our own situation is always different. You see us coming online for international
Different.
meetings, and we're the only ones that are having technical glitch all the time. Why is it happening? Because the person who is in charge has no human intelligence at all, has no emotional intelligence, because you are
It's not
thinking
held
in the workplace. It's
responsible.
not about your expertise alone. It's not about your technical skills. It's asking the question: if anything goes bad with what I'm doing, if I don't do my job very well, how many people will be affected? How many millions of naira will be lost as a result of my own inability to ensure that I give the best to the people? I don't need to see you. I don't need to know you, but I want to be at my own best at all times. That is what makes the system work. And those are the soft. So those are the points.
I don't.
I don't know whether it made any sense. I answered your
It keeps going. Yes, you've answered my question and even more, even like the next question, and I appreciate. Can you hear me?
question the way you wanted.
Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me?
All right, I'm back.
Can you hear me? Wow. Wow. I don't know what's happening. I don't even know if Pablo who's off or him. But guys, I think we're going to end today's show here and then get back to you guys when we sorted. I don't even know. Is it even possible to sort out the network issues? Just keep bearing with us. We'll keep bringing you interesting episodes. The network allow. That's it for today's show. I'm going to try to bring back Mr. Kawam to complete this episode. So I'll see you guys in the next week. Have a nice night. Bye.